Welcome back. This is the greatest women's player of all time, Diana Taurasi. Here's the resume. 3 WNBA titles, 2 finals MVPs, 3 gold medals, going for 4 in 2016, 3 NCAA championships, 5 EuroLeague titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just win. Why didn't the Clippers add you to their 15th man?
I mean, after watching last night, I think.
So you're in Russia. You're playing this year professionally.
Yeah.
And it's 13 hours earlier or later?
Ahead.
So you're watching League Pass all year in the mornings.
All morning.
And who are you watching?
Well, on the East Coast, I try to watch, Cleveland, because that was the story every night. How's Cleveland? So Cleveland, Chicago, and then my beloved Lakers, which by mid-March weren't getting watched anymore. Done. And then my secondary team are the Phoenix Suns. So by mid-Feb, they weren't watched. So the Warriors and
But the Clippers are kind of sucking you in a little bit.
My first Clipper game was Game 2 versus San Antonio, and I felt so guilty because I'm a Laker fan. I promise.
Except
when they're not sucked in. I know, I am. The Clippers, they've been fun to watch. They've turned the corner. Something happened.
So what do you think happened?
Well,
you think something happened with Blake?
Oh yeah, you can tell. There's certain times in your career where the switch flips and you're playing effortless out there. You're doing things that look amazing and you don't feel it. So I think this is the year where he's turned the corner, and I think it's just the beginning. I really do. I think it's the beginning. It's kind of like LeBron. Those first couple years, you see it, but it would just all break down. It's not going to break down anymore.
So you ready to make a Western Conference prediction, an Eastern Conference prediction, an NBA Finals one?
This is a talking head show.
Bill and I were talking earlier. This is the one year where I feel like the best team has to play the best every night to win. When in the past, Miami could, squeak by teams, San Antonio when they were really good, even go back, the Bulls, you'd go watch Bull games, and they're horrible to watch now. They barely get to 90, but they would win. This year in the playoffs, you have to play really well to win every night. And if you don't, you lose. So it's strange.
When you're watching these games, are you thinking man, now that would be a fun team to play in?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I wish I could be there. So who's that team this year?
Once again, I love the stuff. Doc runs the best stuff in the league right now. And it's little things. DeAndre comes up, slips, and sets a down pick for J.J. Redick. It's such a small thing. But, when you're on defense, what are you thinking? High pick and roll. Ooh, I got a hedge. I'm late on that. 3. Those are the little things I really watch.
That's also Jalen's team because he wants to be Hedo Turkoglu, as we just
The same reason, because they create situations where you always have to chase.
Right.
Or you got to defend the lob, and it's impossible to be in 2 places at one time, literally. And, of course, she likes the Clippers right now. They're actually playing.
They're playing.
The Lakers aren't playing, so she didn't get a chance to watch her beloved Lakers this year.
And Golden State, how can you not like them? You usually pick the team with the most talent. Over a 7-game series, who can make more basketball plays than them?
Wait, hold on.
I don't know who can.
She's got to explain her theory about why Steph Curry has the greatest WNBA game of all time.
Oh, yeah, he's got the best WNBA highlights of all time. Below the rim, reverse layups, step back threes. As a fellow step back threer, you're yeah, you know what? That needs a little bit more respect in the world. And there's probably every guy in here could probably do that.
Right.
At one point in his career or in your, pickup games. You can respect that. Kind of like when Steve did it. It was the everyday man.
Correct. And so
highlights.
Are the fundamentals back? Because there was a time when it was the Allen Iverson type crossover. Now it's the Kyrie Irving type handle.
I think that power game is dead and gone. I don't think you can win like that anymore. There's too many skilled players out there, and you need guys that can play basketball. It's not the NFL draft. You could run, you can jump, but if you don't know when to do it, who cares? Right? You weren't the most athletic player.
At all. I couldn't jump over
that felt like a shot.
No, she's a basketball fan. She can say that. It's not a diss
if it
comes from your peers.
It's compared.
Okay. So if I said it would have been a diss.
Yeah, because compared to you. Compared to you, it's Carl Lewis over here.
We've seen it.
Compared, you compared me to other WNBA, I'm the least athletic guy out there.
Right.
So we've never relied on those things, but that's what's made our careers longer, too.
When you play, and I've had the chance to see you in person, first of all, you talk all the time.
Yeah.
You're riding the refs, you're riding your teammates, you're yelling at the coaches, you're yelling at the other players.
Oh, yeah. I'm in it.
What NBA player would you compare yourself to? Because to me, it's like there's a lot of Chris Paul in the stuff you're doing.
Oh, no.
Because he's talking, he's yelling, he's doing all
the talking to my teammates is just to make sure they're there. Are you here? Are you in this moment? Like, are you involved in what's going on? And I probably get that from Coach Auriemma. Like, he would if you're not talking in practice, he'd throw you out. Go, get out. I don't want you here. So that, like, chatter is like my nervous energy, making sure everyone's involved. And then the other side is just I want to beat you so bad. And the yelling at the refs is like, any motivation I need right now, I'll take it. And then I'll kiss people once in a while on the court. You know?
No question about it, because the game is obviously physical, but it's a lot more mental. And when you have the skill set that you have, you keep yourself engaged, which keeps your teammates engaged.
Without a doubt. It's like, if she's not doing it, well, what am I going to do out here? You know?
Right.
And, you know, but that's evolved too as I've gotten older. You know, I've kind of let that go a little bit. And, you know, I got to use this energy to play now. Where when you're younger, you don't need anything.
Well, I've actually sent you a tweet before, and it was a congratulatory tweet. And you could correct this math if I'm wrong. Oh, you got it up there, okay. Early February. Now, all I know is this. You were getting paid $1.6 million over a 12-month calendar period to play basketball.
Yeah.
Overseas, they were paying you 99% of it.
Right.
What does this say about the WNBA?
I mean, math doesn't lie, right?
Not at all.
I mean, it's just, people always ask me this question. It's like, okay, Messi goes to Barcelona to play soccer. Does he go to Argentina and play in the recreational, league during the summer?
Yeah.
No. So why have you been put in a position to do that? And I know it's different. Europe is different. Free market. You got all these billionaires that just love it. They're not doing it for profit. They're not doing it for media. It's like one rich Russian who loves basketball and pays you a lot of money. You're like the hired assassin. Mm-hmm. And, the WNBA is trying to be a league of longevity, of, we're near 19, hopefully it gets to 40. And, it's been a little bit of a crawl lately. And I think I need to start running a little bit.
Mm. We were talking earlier about Russell Westbrook. And, you're the best basketball player of all time on the women's side. And you seem to identify with these certain career tipping points that people have.
Yeah.
And you noticed something with Westbrook during this season. What was it?
Oh, that rage against the machine, that just going 120 every possession.
But why? What was the
why?
fear?
Well, I mean, there's this fear of your team's not good enough, but I'm going to try to do everything. Like in 09, we won the WNBA championship. The next year, Kepi Pondek will leave. We have a couple injuries, and we weren't very good. I'm just putting my head down and going every single time.
Because you felt like, this is a whole year of my life I'm about to lose. I can't let this happen.
You might as well
save this.
You might as well make the best out of it.
Can you go too far with it though?
Yeah,
where you override your teammates and stuff?
It's not sustainable. It's not. Like you see the best players right now, they're calm, they're controlled, they know what they're doing on every possession, they pick and choose when they do it, and he'll get to that point, and when he does, that's when he's gonna be really, really scary. Not the 35 and 15 and 15, but the 28, 11 and 4, and they're winning 60 games.
And that's what we were talking about earlier with Blake Griffin. You're just basically describing when the game actually slows down and you're able to beat people with your knowledge and skill, not necessarily your athletic traits.
That's when it's really fun to play. That's when you have everything in control. You got to just wait, pick and choose your moment. That's when basketball really becomes really fun.
Like a sniper in the woods.
You just nothing hurts. Everything's easy. Like that's a good time.
What have you noticed about, as you keep talking about when you're getting older, it seems like you have a fear of the mortality of your career. What have you noticed as you've gotten older, even though the talent is still there? What are the things you're worried about?
I'm not at that stage yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, but I mean,
I'm
just
not
like you're trying to hang on to the.
I'm not.
You're trying to hang on to the apex, though.
Yeah, you are.
Right.
And now you think about everything. Like, should I eat that? Should I go to bed at 9:30? Should I do Pilates? Should I do yoga? Should I go paddleboard? You're like, what's new? What can I do that can help me get that or actually just keep on playing with that edge. And sometimes it's almost just like theoretically thinking about it, how can I get better?
What would you have done differently if you could do the first 8 years, or actually years 7 through 11 of your career over again? What would you do?
Well, when I went from college to the NBA, I felt like it'd be a smart decision to stop drinking malt liquor. That's probably not the best thing for a professional athlete.
That's always a smart decision.
Right. As my career progressed, I don't think this hurt or helped per se, but for some reason I told myself I wanted to stop eating pork. So I did that, to your point, dieting, nutritioning, and trying to eat better, but just getting rest and playing as hard as you can. Yeah. It's not brain surgery.
No, and at the end of the day, if you're not good, that's not going to help you anyway.
Right.
So, you know, you could eat as good as you want. If you're just not a good basketball player, that's not going to help you.
But you could have this whole second stage of your career that Jalen still feels cheated on, where you could just be the stretch 3 for an extra 4 years. You just spot up until 2025.
I don't know if I have that in me, though.
You go crazy? Could you be a player coach?
That I could do, but the stretch 3, I don't know if I'm built for that. Maybe later on, but I don't know. That would be hard.
Jalen's
and you say
ready.
you'd want to. You don't want to be Turkoglu.
And not at all. That's why I joined the media. But you got to remember, like, she has a versatile game. Like, and she mentioned it earlier, the skills are back in the game where players can actually dribble past and shoot.
Yes.
And when you're used to creating for yourself and for others, that becomes more exciting, like a LeBron James, than a spot-up three-point shot.
I agree. The game, I really think the game is changing. I mean, I know you guys watch it. You can see it. You can see it. You can see by the players that are on the court, all those small forwards. Like, I mean, I know Blake's a power forward, but, what, he's 6'8". Back to the basket, limited now. All his plays are off pick and rolls, create.
The 5.
Throw ahead, create.
Absolutely. The centers are not either skilled. They're going to post up like Brook Lopez or Al Jefferson, or will guys like DeAndre Jordan or Dwight Howard just run, jump, dunk, and block shots.
Right.
The 4 spot really tells how the game has changed, because you said it. Blake, he's different than Draymond Green, who's different from Anthony Davis.
We have to go, but one quick question. If you could pick any NBA player to play with, who would you pick?
Steve Nash.
He's not in the NBA anymore.
Steve Nash.
You got to play with him.
I did.
In the NBA.
Yeah, right now.
I can't say Kobe, because is he Kobe in or out?
You wouldn't want
I got to tell you something. He's getting $23 million from the National Basketball Association.
He's in.
Yes.
Kobe.
He's a Celtic
Easy.
fan. Don't ever get twisted.
Thank you to Diana Taurasi. We'll be right back with Jalen. He's going to keep it 100 after this.